Somewhere
I'm
out
the
there
real
right
map.
now, a map is lying to you because every single border on it was drawn by someone who just decided it. And today, Blue Stickman is going undercover to catch the exact moment humanity invented the concept of a country. Except there's a problem because it turns out nobody ever actually invented it. The screen flickers into a grainy black and white briefing room. A single desk lamp swings overhead and a stern narrator voice announces the mission. Blue Stickman, opaque shiny sunglasses catching the lamp glare, leans back in his chair and says, "Wait."
Wait, why is the background black and white? I thought we agreed on the minimalist white set this episode.
And the narrator sighs and says, "Fine." And the room snaps into color mid-sentence, because apparently even the narrator negotiates with the talent now. Mission briefing: locate the first country in human history. Blue Stickman salutes with an exaggerated stick-arm flourish and says,
Copy that, Chief. Sounds easy. Probably Egypt, right? Big pyramids, one pharaoh, done. Case closed.
The folder says Sumer, roughly 5,000 years ago, a cluster of city-states in the Fertile Crescent, each one running its own government, its own gods, its own laws, and crucially, none of them thinking of themselves as one country. Another folder slaps down, Egypt, 3,100 BCE, King Minis uniting Upper and Lower Egypt into a single kingdom, which sounds exactly like a country, except the Egyptians themselves never used a word that meant country. They had a king, a river, and a whole lot of loyalty to that king personally. A third folder, Ancient China. Dynasties rising and falling for centuries, powerful, organized, sprawling, and still built entirely around allegiance to one ruling family rather than any fixed national identity. Blue Stickman flips through the folders faster and faster and says, "Okay, hold on. None of these people knew they were founding a country." And the narrator says exactly, "Agent." That's the twist. The concept of a country, fixed borders, one government, one shared national identity, is shockingly recent. Only a few hundred years old, invented mostly in Europe around the 16 and 1700s.
So you're telling me ancient Egypt existed for 3,000 years and never once filled out a passport application?
Narrator's voice cuts in from off-screen saying, "We'll pick this up after a word from absolutely nobody, since this is a cartoon and we don't have sponsors."
Do you think the ancient Egyptians ever accidentally invented a country without meaning to? Type your answer below, yes or no, because the comment section deserves better than silence today.
Back in the briefing room, the file thickens. Historians explain that what looked like early countries were really personal kingdoms. Empires held together by loyalty to a ruler rather than loyalty to a place, which means the map you grew up trusting is really a very recent invention wearing an ancient costume. Blue Stickman starts pacing, tapping his chin, and says,
So if Egypt wasn't technically a country, and Sumer wasn't technically a country, then who is actually getting credit for inventing the whole idea?
The narrator explains that historians point to Europe's shift away from sprawling multi-ethnic empires like the Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires towards smaller states built around one language, one culture, one government. Sometime around the 16th and 17th centuries, a shift driven by taxes, standing armies, and a very expensive habit of constantly going to war. Blue Stickman stops pacing and says, "Wait."
Wait, so the modern country wasn't founded by a hero or a philosopher, it was basically invented to make war easier to pay for.
And the narrator, slightly quieter now, admits that's essentially correct. The briefing room lights dim for dramatic effect, and a new file slides across the desk showing something odd, a boundary line on an old map that doesn't match any known kingdom, empire, or modern nation, dated centuries before anyone was supposedly inventing countries at all. Blue Stickman picks it up, tilts his sunglasses down for the first time all episode.
Chief, either somebody drew a country by accident hundreds of years too early, somebody's been quietly rewriting the map this whole time.